Hey guys, here's an ambitious shootout with 3 Dreadnought acoustic guitars. We're going maple, we're going rosewood, we're going mahogany. They're different guitars, so cast whatever aspersions you will, but they are 3 Dreadnoughts. All have new strings. The 2 guitars have D'Addario EJ17s. This is a Collings D1 traditional with EJ17s. In my hand is a Gibson Dove original. This is a 2023 with whatever the brand new strings are that Gibson shipped. The setup is really very good and the strings seem like they're brand new. And this is my Martin Cutaway HD28, also with EJ17 D'Addario phosphor bronze strings. So I'm just going to play some different music. This, by the way, is beautiful. You can look at that figure on the maple back and sides. It's really a beautiful guitar. Very responsive. It is bright like maple. Obviously, we're going to hear the rosewood tone signature from the HD28. And the Collings is mahogany and Sitka, and it's the traditional model. They're D1. So these are all Dreadnoughts. I'm going to pull the recorder closer because I want to capture more of the guitar, a little less of the room, because I'm familiar with this recorder. So we're going to get about this close. Let me get a little closer to the 12th fret over here. And, all right. This is the Gibson Dove. That's the Gibson Dove. I'm going to go to the rosewood because I think it's a little bit more similar to maple than the mahogany. This is the HD28. And let's bring in the Collings mahogany back and sides Sitka top. Really good ring and sustain on the Collings. Obviously, you're hearing the difference of the woods. I'm going to do the same thing. Come back to the Gibson Dove. Really good sustain from the maple Gibson Dove. And here's the Martin HD28 Cutaway. All right, so that's just a little bit of hybrid cross-picking and strumming. I'm going to come back to the Dove. Let me play something a little bit different. That's the Gibson Dove. Coming over to the Martin HD28. That's the HD28. Again, the strings are brand spanking new. I just put them on before doing this recording. The strings on this I also just put on before the recording. This is the Collings D1 Traditional. I'm going to come back to the Gibson Dove, which is a wild card. I've not played many Gibson acoustics that weren't J45s or Southern Jumbos. So this is a long scale guitar. I think the strings are mediums. I could be wrong, but it is maple sides and back, and square shouldered Gibson. So a little bit less familiar than some of the short scale, like the Hummingbird is a mahogany back and sides short scale. This is maple back and sides, and it's a long scale. All right. That's the Hummingbird, maple back and side, Sitka top. The Martin HD28 is Sitka top, but it's East Indian rosewood back and sides. And then the Collings, right over here, is mahogany back and sides, and it's also a Sitka spruce top. Let me just play something a little bit different, and then I'll share a comment that my wife made. She doesn't have musicians' vocabulary, so it's interesting to hear her descriptions. So I'll share that shortly, and then I want to listen back and hear what these recordings sound like, but I will share that with you. So here's fret that cleanly, but you get an idea. All right, that was the Gibson Dove. Here is the Martin HD28. That's the Martin HD28. By the way, the HD28 is a 2018, so I've had the guitar for about 5 years. This is D1 traditional. I've had it for a few months, so it's still breaking in. It's pretty new. I'm going to come back to the Dove one more time because I actually did not finish the sequence of chording, so I want you to hear that. Quickly go in reverse order. I'm going to do that one more time, just for comparison's sake. This is the Collings. probably settling down a little bit as I make this recording. I feel like I'm a little more relaxed, a little more dialed into the guitars. Here's the Martin. One more time, the HD28. That's the Martin, and I'm going to close just that same thing on the Gibson Dove, just so you can hear the difference. Alright, so let me move that recorder back, share just a couple quick thoughts with you. So, I played all of these guitars for my wife. She's a fan of the mahogany, so she's a fan of the Collings D1 traditional. I get it. I absolutely love a guitar. I think it's just a superior guitar to so many out there. I love it. I've been playing the HD28 for quite a long time. I do have a Martin D18 cutaway, which is mahogany Sitka, but I need to get some fret work done on it. Actually, I'm going to refret it next week, have that done. So I couldn't put that in the Shootout because it's just a bit buzzy and it's sounding thin because the frets have been crowned and polished just too much. They're very low. So coming back to the Gibson Dove, which is kind of a new, it's a rare bird for me. I've not really played one, and this is one of the better Gibsons that I've played. It's very responsive. The neck is great. The ornamentation is beautiful. I'm hearing maple. I'm not familiar with maple, but it is bright. Maybe not overly bright. When I compared these for my wife, who does not have musician's ears, but she's got great ears and she knows what she likes, and she and I usually agree on what the sounds are. But she said that everything sounded separate in this guitar. So I'm going to equate that to mean every note on the maple guitar, it's bright and thin and lean, and each string has its own distinct space, where she was mentioning, like on the Martin or the Collings, the sounds of the guitars were more homogenized. She said it's more of a whole sound. The word she used was they sound like more professional guitars. Now that's not meant to dismiss the Gibson. She also thought that all of the ornamentation was beautiful, but it was a little bit feminine. So take that for whatever it's worth. I think it's really nice, although I do think these particular doves right here are very Partridge Family. But it's a classic, iconic guitar. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's maple on the Gibson, rosewood on the Martin, HD28, and on the D1 traditional Collings. Mahogany, obviously different guitars, different bracing builds, but I am hearing some of the qualities of the wood differences that you would associate with maple, rosewood, or mahogany. So with that said, I hope this was interesting and fun for you. I make these sometimes for me so I can listen back without being subjective while I'm playing. I'm feeling it and I'm hearing it from behind the sound hole. So I like to listen back too. So I'll be interested to hear what this sounds like without being the player. Welcome all your comments. If you're new to the channel, please ring the bell and subscribe. That helps everybody. Please share this if you find that it was interesting and helpful. And I look forward to your comments.